Hello YouTube and welcome back to Kind Heart Homestead. My name is Ben and I'm here at our off-grid property in the mountains of Virginia. Behind me you can see I got a, I think it's a 52 or 53 gallon pressure tank. I'm going to use this to take the stress off of my well pump because we're eventually going to have at least one house on the property, and the solar shed with a bathroom and a laundry room in it will also need some of that water pressure as well. So I opted for this larger tank. I know it's kind of excessive, but they say the larger tank you buy, the less the well pump has to work. And they say bigger is always better, and there's not really an issue with having a massive tank. The constraint for this though was it needed to fit in my car. My local Lowe's down in South Carolina had this 53 gallon tank, and the other one was 90 something gallons, and that thing was over 5 feet tall, way too big for my car. So I think this one's gonna be perfect. Let me go ahead and open it up. Well, that was funny to open. There's absolutely no packaging in that box protecting this. It's basically just a big barrel in a box. Weighs 77 pounds. I shouldn't have any problem getting it into the building, but it's definitely easier to carry without this box. What I was told by the H2O mechanic when I got all of my well components was that anything over 50 gallons was going to have an 1.25 inch pipe thread at the bottom of this pressure tank. Anything else would have a 1 inch. So he sold me all the appropriate components for something this size, and only time will tell if it all hooks up correctly. I don't have my trench dug yet. There's no water connected to this building, but for construction purposes, I need to put this in the utility room as I install my solar equipment, just to make sure there's enough room around everything to move around. And I also need to know where the water lines need to go for my rough-in inspection. And this kind of dictates at least the very basic part of where the cold water line will come from. Please stick around, and I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
So I have the mounting plate here for the Schneider Conext inverter. And I have a couple of these flathead structural screws that are meant to replace lag bolts. And even though the instructions say to use lags, I'm pretty sure that since these are suitable substitutes that they should work. I did look up the manufacturer specs on these. Each of these screws has a shear strength of over 1,000 pounds. And what they say for this plate is just to make sure everything that's holding up this plate can hold 500 pounds total. That's all the fasteners combined. So 2 of these is plenty. I'll see if I can add a couple just regular construction screws and some of the other slots, but I'm gonna go ahead and install this now. This series is supposed to be about building this solar shed and not necessarily all the technical aspects behind wiring inverters and solar panels and things like that. So I do want to keep this pretty brief. The reason that this is in this video is because I'm just trying to represent the overall utility room and kind of what's in the way, what I need to leave room for, what clearances need to be made available. And because this goes right next to the electrical panel, there's not really a way of avoiding it in the series. But I got this bracket up on the wall It's designed to fit exactly in a 16-inch on-center stud bay with the lag bolts going in the actual studs. And out of anything on this wall, this needs to be hung on the studs.
I know you cared, but I never thought it was fair to say to me that your heart might have been elsewhere. I've never had so much to say, though it may be hard to see. I'll never know why you felt that way. At least you said what you mean. I've never felt so alone. So many things were left unknown. I'm running in circles, and when I get somewhere, will you still be there? It's becoming eternal, this feeling, if it's true, will it bring me to you? You give and I take, but I always made the mistake of towing the line, the one you said wouldn't break. 'Cause now I'm here and you're out there. Will we ever meet again? I'd give my life for you to see. I just can't wait until then. I'm running in circles, and when I get somewhere, will you still be there? It's becoming eternal, this feeling, if it's true, will it bring me you? I wonder, will it always be in vain? I guess I'm just addicted to the pain. I'm running in circles, and when I get somewhere, will you still be there? It's becoming eternal, this feeling, if it's true, will it bring me you? I'm running in circles, and when I get somewhere, will you still be there? It's becoming eternal, this feeling, if it's true, will it bring me
You couldn't tell from the time lapse, but that took a long time. But I wanted to do it as safely as possible, and that's why I used the ladder. I had 2 ratchet straps, and the reason I have to do 2 is because it's not a winch. It only pulls the strap from one side. So anytime it pulls, it rotates it. And to counter that, I would put one on the other side. So I'd strap it 4 cranks, the other side strap 4 cranks. And then once there's too much slack rolled up around the ratchet part of the strap, then taking the weight with the other strap, I can loosen that one, reset it, make it so there's barely any strap wrapped around it, and then I would continue that. And then only once I got towards the very top of the ladder did I actually secure it to the ladder with this orange strap. And then I lifted the entire assembly using some blocking I have up in the attic to raise the ladder up the wall until the ladder served no purpose anymore. Then I disconnected everything from the ladder and removed it. So this thing probably weighs a couple 100 pounds. I don't remember the exact specs, but it's definitely too heavy for me to even lift off the floor by myself. So now it's in place. I'm gonna leave these straps on it just as a safety precaution until I can get the 2 screws that Schneider provided to attach the unit to the bracket itself. So as you can see behind me, I have this huge solar panel. I got 22 of these. I ordered 2 extra because of warnings that I heard that solar panels could potentially get cracked or dented in transit. And honestly, with the price of solar panels, it wasn't too much extra cost-wise to get that assurance that I would definitely have the quantity that I wanted. But I do have 2 extra, so what do I do with them? Well, I have my Anker battery pack. You know, I've been traveling back and forth between our off-grid property up here in the mountains of Virginia from South Carolina, which is where we've been staying at my parents' house. And because of the manufacturer's warning not to charge this with a generator, I haul it all the way back and forth, basically every other trip. And now that I'm starting to use the AC capabilities of it, the inverter really sucks down the batteries. So, got this adapter. It converts MC4 to the DC input that it has on the back. And I'm gonna try to rig this up to the solar panel, see if I can charge up the battery pack. It took a few minutes to get the solar panel ready for use because each of the pigtails coming out of the back was delicately taped and zip tied with 2 zip ties each. So I had to remove those first. Now once hooked up, you can see here I did a screen recording from my iPhone with the Anker app running. I'm getting 331 watts out of this 395 watt panel. That's a surprising amount because that's 84% of the maximum output in the ideal test conditions. You can see on my little spreadsheet there that normal conditions do typically run lower, but this is still pretty impressive. So now what I'd like to do is get started on the zip liquid flashing going around the building. You can see here that I put some painter's tape up for the first side. I ended up not doing that on the other sides because this being a shed, I'm not really interested in wasting that much time making everything look absolutely perfect, especially because the rat guard trim that's going to support and plug the bottom of the siding, that's actually going to hang down over some of this concrete. So some of this zip liquid flash is going to be concealed anyway. So you can see here I'm using a sausage tube packet instead of a caulk tube, because caulk tubes are essentially disposable. They create a lot of trash when you're done. But these sausage tubes, all that you're left with is a tiny little pancake with a crushed wrapper, and it really doesn't take up that much space. And then I get to reuse the nozzle and the this whole assembly of this sausage tube gun for the next pack. So this one pack lasted me 2 full walls plus plugging a bunch of nail holes. So that's the skinny wall and then the long wall around the corner to the left. So I was pleasantly surprised how easy this is to apply, although I do recommend doing it when it's not so cold. Zip liquid flash is rated to be used with a zip sheathing, just as the zip tape is, and they're both offered by Huber. I ordered metal to finish out the outside of my solar shed through my local building supply store. They offer a brand called Central States with several different gauge and finishing options. I chose to use the 29 gauge material for both the siding and the roofing. I'm doing a couple different colors, but that's what you see being unloaded here. It was just a matter of coordinating the delivery on a weekday for when I was going to be there, and now it's here. You might be able to hear in the background, the truck that brought my metal for this building just left. There he is off in the distance. That's pretty awesome. I was up taking a walk in the woods and then I heard what sounded like a large truck. And we do get a lot of delivery trucks on our shared driveway, but I thought I would just come out of the woods and see if it was the truck I was expecting. And it was. He was able to pull right up to my building and drop everything there. It's kind of like those Lowe's trucks where they have that special forklift that can raise and lower itself onto the back. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about this. However, this is the end of my trip, so I'm not going to unpack all that stuff today. I did get a lot done. Just continued roughing in electrical and plumbing. A lot of the stuff I can't really record because it's in such tight little corners. I'm just kind of drilling holes with the double top plates to route cords, stapling things, stapling wire, using little pipe clamps and pipe straps to get everything just right, covering everything with nail plates so there's no risk of drywall puncturing. So I'm getting pretty close on that stuff. I need to get the hot water heater in just so I know where to terminate all of those plumbing and electrical lines, and then I can start going through my mental checklist trying to get stuff ready for the plumbing and electrical inspections. So if you want to see any more of this stuff, whether it's solar components getting configured, water lines getting trenched, inspections happening, getting the metal on this building, go ahead and subscribe. Start a discussion down in the comment section. If you desire any sort of content coming from me, you know, I'm doing a lot of off-grid stuff, camping, cooking, things like that. Let me know if you want to see it. Anyway, I'll see you next time back here at Kind Heart Homestead. Thanks.